What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is WWE Off The Script, episode number 52, part number 1, to start your weekend off the right way, man. Thank you so much for joining me for the number 1 goddamn fucking source for WWE news and rumors and 2K15 content right here on YouTube.com, man. It's Friday, starting the weekend off, and boy, do I have big fucking news, man. Big news all weekend. Getting you guys ready for WrestleMania 31, man. And I'm going to start it off with the rumored scenario that Vince McMahon has now personally changed the WrestleMania 31 main event, man. Further proving that WWE made a colossal mistake. Further proving that the Royal Rumble for a second year in a row is deemed fucking worthless and meaningless. We're going to talk about it. What are the scenarios? What is going on with WrestleMania 31? I have up to the date, literally half an hour ago, up to the date information regarding WrestleMania 31 and Vince McMahon changing that main event, man. All this plus so much more on Off The Script. A few things I do want to, let you guys in on. I did cover Monday Night Raw, and I did cover NXT Takeover Rival, man. Both I did reviews on. If you missed those videos, especially the NXT one, man, I posted it at 12 midnight like I usually do when these events go off the air. If you missed it, links for both are down in the description below. Please go and check them out. If YouTube did not push them through your sub boxes, man, it would mean the world to me, and I greatly appreciate it, all right? Now, let's get on to the news and rumors, guys. I got big fucking news. Vince McMahon changes WrestleMania 31 like that, man. He's the boss. He can do whatever he wants, and it needed to be done. Some may agree with it. Some may disagree with it. But this is the latest information regarding WrestleMania 31. It's been reported for months that the main event of WrestleMania 31 would be Roman Reigns challenging Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, paid subscription, WWE Chairman Vince McMahon has gone ahead and tweaked that match. The plan moving forward will be for Brock Lesnar to defend the WWE World Heavyweight Championship now in a triple threat match against Reigns and none other than Daniel Bryan. McMahon recently held a meeting with WWE officials and let everyone know that Bryan would now be added to the main event. This all comes on the heels of the negative reaction Reigns received from the WWE Universe upon winning the 2015 Royal Rumble match. Bryan and Reigns will go one-on-one at WWE Fastlane later this month. The winner will be named number 1 contender for Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. It's not yet known how WWE will book the finish of this match to get both competitors in the title match at WrestleMania. Because of this, it looks like plans for a Bryan versus Ziggler match at WrestleMania will be scrapped. Both Bryan and Ziggler had taken to social media to push for another match together in recent weeks. WWE.com ran a poll, and listen to this, over the weekend, asking fans who was more deserving of a title shot at WrestleMania between Bryan and Reigns. It wasn't even close, as Bryan received 87% of the votes via WWE.com. Moving on. In the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, this is updated as of Thursday, 7 p.m. You guys are going to be seeing this on Friday morning at 11, okay? So this is up to the date. Latest information regarding this and what Vince McMahon is doing for WrestleMania, okay? The latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter has provided more details about Vince McMahon possibly changing WrestleMania 31's main event due to the fan reaction to both Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. As previously reported, McMahon and the office of WWE have now been telling people that they will need to plan out video packages and promotional material for WrestleMania, that the main event is now a triple threat match for the title between Bryan, Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. Although WWE executives have been saying that the main event now has been changed to a triple threat match, there are honestly 3 options for WrestleMania that officials are now wrestling over. The new triple threat match, obviously with Bryan, Reigns, and Lesnar. The original plan of Lesnar versus Reigns, which nobody wants, and it will be eaten up alive at WrestleMania with the rabid hardcore fan base that attends WrestleMania every year. And finally, the most unlikely to happen, which would be Lesnar versus Bryan. I don't think that's unlikely. I think that would be the most popular of decisions. But then again, you got to think about where does Roman Reigns place on WrestleMania. So more than likely, this will not happen. I think Lesnar versus Bryan one-on-one would be the most intriguing of all 3 options. And it would be a colossal matchup, man. The Beast versus the Beard. David versus Goliath. Daniel Bryan had it tough last year at WrestleMania, taking down Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, all of Evolution. And this year he's got Brock Lesnar staring him in the face to get that title back that he never lost, man. I think that's money. The story doesn't even need to be told, man. It pretty much writes itself. But that, I understand and I fully agree, is unlikely to happen because you got to think about where Roman Reigns, like I said, would be placed on the card, okay? Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter writes the following, and I'm going to read this very slowly for you guys because it's very important, okay? Writes the following about 3 options, or the 3 options that I just mentioned, McMahon and the company are trying to decide between for the main event of WrestleMania 31. And I quote, this is from Dave Meltzer, okay? Those who have to know where things are going, because this is part of a major event with a lot of publicity that needs to be in place. We're told this past week that the Lesnar vs. Reigns match is being changed to a triple threat. The reality is that could still change until the February 22nd show in Memphis, where they have to come up with a finish for Bryan versus Reigns to build the title match. What's notable is that after the Rumble, we were told that Vince McMahon was not considering, and I even reported this on Off the Script, and Meltzer is saying it right now in the newsletter. McMahon was not considering changing from Lesnar to Reigns, and that they had already done the 3-way with Bryan and his win last year. But despite what is said publicly, the company often does react to what the crowds dictate. And this case is very similar to 1994, where Lex Luger was being groomed to beat Yokozuna, and the crowd reaction at the Rumble led to that being changed to Bret Hart. As you guys know, classic Rumble, classic ending. Both Luger and Bret both went over at the same time, which led to a double main event at WrestleMania where Bret challenged Owen in the opening match, and then Luger versus Yokozuna in the middle of the card, and Yokozuna retained against Lex Luger and then went on to fight Bret Hart, ultimately losing the title, and Bret regained it at WrestleMania 10 in Madison Square Garden, okay? Now, Lesnar versus Bryan would be the strongest match, and Dave Meltzer agrees with this. Simply because Bryan is more popular than Reigns at this stage of the game, it would probably be also the best of all 3 scenarios match-wise. Lesnar vs. Reigns is the weakest match, but it is the longest planned match. It's been planned the longest, with WWE dating back to pretty much the summer of 2014. It would still have Reigns, the guy who was scheduled to win the title, win it from a champion who has been booked so strong, destroying both The Undertaker and John Cena on big shows in 2014. This week's plan has the advantage of the outcome not being as predictable, particularly if Lesnar doesn't sign a new WWE deal, which I have news on this weekend. You're not going to want to miss that one either. Just throwing you guys some hints about what I got coming up for you right here on Off the Script, man, okay? Particularly if Lesnar doesn't sign a new WWE deal, okay? But it also has a major negative in the sense that Reigns is likely to be booed more than the other 2. And the original idea was that this would be, and this would kick Reigns off as the replacement for John Cena as the company's top babyface. If the idea is that Bryan being in the Rumble was a mistake because it made Reigns a heel, the fact Reigns is doing the Fastlane main event with Bryan, and if Bryan is in it with him again at Mania, it'll only make things worse. What did I tell you guys? I said this on Off the Script, and Dave Meltzer is writing it for you as I'm reading what he is writing in the newsletter, okay? It's only going to make things worse, and I said this many times. If the idea is to make Reigns a heel champion, having Bryan in the match may work the best, but it's a gamble of whether it gets the right kind of heel heat, but that backfires because the whole idea was to create a new super babyface. If Bryan was to win the title, it really would make more sense and be a better match, and mean more as a straight singles match. But they'd already booked Reigns to win the Rumble and may want to protect that idea to keep the value of the Rumble intact, the company's number 2 event of the year, strong, okay? Right now, Lesnar is a heel fans want to cheer for. Bryan is the most popular wrestler, not only in the company, but in the industry. But also, for the first time, is clearly getting the beginnings of a backlash. Reigns is popular with girls and women. I stated this as well. But winning of the Rumble killed him as far as TV crowds went. At the arenas over the weekend, Reigns and Bryan were almost completely cheered. Although there were attempts to boo Reigns in Jacksonville. Bryan and Reigns had a lot of interaction at television, with Reigns acting as the subtle and even not so subtle heel and being booed. On Raw, whenever Reigns would hit a big move, the crowd would cheer the move and then boo him. It was back and forth on him all night whether he was cheered or booed, but definitely more boos, and at no point did he feel like a guy who should be a top face. And it was never the super cheers and super loud boos like Cena would get before TV crowds, where it's clear he's the superstar on the show, even though a lot of people do not like him. One person live said Bryan was cheered for the most part, but when he issued the line about how everyone knows I'm the better wrestler, that it was, at best, 50% cheers. Whenever he interacted with Reigns, Bryan was the one cheered. If Reigns is made a heel champion, on that plan is to eventually turn him face. Like I said, I even reported this on Monday Night Raw review, okay? If he's made into a heel champion, he will be, I think it would be a nice setup and would catapult him nicely to becoming a babyface if they want to make him a heel champion. But a lot of you guys disagree with me. The spear on Bryan really doesn't determine whether he's heel. It does when Bryan is the most over fucking wrestler in the industry, okay? Roman Reigns is using heel tactics. It's the only way, and I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw, WWE may be trolling us. They want Roman Reigns to be adored and cheered, okay? Roman Reigns doesn't need to be a heel or a face. He can be an in-betweener, man. He can be a rebel. He can do whatever he wants. He should be the guy that doesn't give a fuck about who cheers him, who hates him, who loves him, whatever, man. Let the crowds do what they want. That kind of atmosphere, when it's created, makes for the best possible event. I like that, okay? But when Roman Reigns speared Daniel Bryan, that was a heel move. His actions before that was a heel move. He tagged himself into the match away from the babyface. He took the limelight, the spotlight away from the babyface Bryan, only to steal it for himself. When you're doing that on the biggest face in the company, Daniel Bryan, that's a heel tactic. You are considered a heelish character. He's not a full-fledged heel, but he's acting as a heel. You gotta understand that. Everything from the spear to the tag to his interactions with Daniel Bryan, turning his back on him and then spearing him, shoving him, blatant disrespect, that's a heel tactic. Especially if it's Daniel Bryan. You guys gotta understand that, okay? Yes, it furthered the story with the dissension between the two, but it's a heel tactic. And I don't know where WWE is going with this, But like the report said from Dave Meltzer, if they want to set him up to be a heel champion, which I hope is not the case because I don't think he's deserving of the title right now. Not to say he's not going to be champion. I just don't think it's right now. I just don't think it's right now. Moving on. If Reigns was to be made a heel champion on that, guys, that plan is to eventually turn him face. The feeling is that he'll need someone to talk for him. Well, Paul Heyman would be that person, provided Lesnar doesn't stay with the WWE politically. I can't see them giving Heyman the full-time top heel to manage, given the authority are the focal points of everything on television now. So a top heel champion who isn't Lesnar is more likely to be affiliated with Stephanie and Triple H. That's where Seth Rollins comes in. And the open opportunity and the rumors running rampant on the internet for Seth Rollins to capture the title at WrestleMania and cash in on whoever is the champion at the end of that show. Furthering the idea of the three-way is that Ziggler, who was to face Bryan as of just over a week ago, and they both started pushing for this match on Twitter, that both have dropped that direction. Ziggler was put into a tag team with Ryback on SmackDown, but on Raw, they were used both as singles guys, okay? Could WWE officials seriously be contemplating running with Reigns as a heel? Will McMahon book a triple threat match featuring Bryan for a second straight year in a row at WrestleMania? Only time will tell. And that is the end of the report, guys. Very, very, very interesting scenarios going on right now with both Bryan and Reigns. And then you got Lesnar, who is the champion. It definitely makes for intriguing television. And when you have someone who is as big as a name as Dave Meltzer, okay? He's one of the biggest names in wrestling when it comes to news and rumors, man. If he's stating that Bryan versus Lesnar is the one match that would be the best out of all those options, why wouldn't WWE explore those options or explore that option? Like I said, it would leave Roman Reigns out. It would leave Roman Reigns out of WrestleMania. That is the only reason why WWE won't go that route. Whoever wins, man, I don't know. But I got concrete news and information on Brock Lesnar. You know, I got this one story that I'm going to deliver to you guys on the weekend that could potentially change the entire outlook on who we see as WWE champion on Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania. We might not even see a new champion with what I have newsworthy, news-wise with Brock Lesnar, man. We might not even have a new champion. Lesnar may be champion for the rest of the fucking summer, man. I don't know. But as of right now, what everyone is explaining to you, WrestleMania has changed drastically. After Vince McMahon did not want to change the main event, he went ahead and did it because the fans fucking said they wanted it to be changed, man. Never, and I'm speaking to you guys as JD, never let people walk all over you, man. I don't give a fuck if it's a friend, a spouse, a significant other, business, a boss, whoever, man. If you feel like you're not getting your money's worth, if you feel you're being disrespected, if you feel like you're being walked over and treated like shit, speak up. Speak up, okay? The only reason why this main event again was changed for a second year in a row is because we, as fans, took to social media, took to Twitter, took to Facebook, WWE.com, and said, enough is enough, man. We don't want it. And it forced Vince McMahon's back against the wall, and he has no choice now but to change the main event. WrestleMania has changed, people, because of you. And that is fucking awesome. That is awesome. Where we go from here, how we get there now is intriguing. It is the most intriguing part. How is WWE going to book Fastlane? How are they going to get both Bryan and Reigns in WrestleMania's main event with Brock Lesnar, man? I don't know. There's a couple of different scenarios. They could go the typical, lazy way of having both guys' shoulders pinned at the same time. You could have Brock Lesnar fucking come in there and say, you know what? Neither of you guys are making WrestleMania. I'm going to fucking just take you guys out right now and end in a double DQ. None of those guys get to WrestleMania. Vince is forced to change it to a triple threat match. I don't know. One of the guys could get screwed. Rollins could interfere on Bryan's behalf and fuck Roman Reigns up, or someone could come in and beat up Bryan on Reigns' behalf. We don't know, man. WWE has a few different ways to go about it to try and get this match booked for WrestleMania in the triple threat. Okay, in the three-way dance. We don't know. It's going to be intriguing. It's going to be interesting. Certainly makes Fastlane something to watch, man. It's going to be a big, big night. And obviously, I will be reviewing that right here on my channel. But big news, guys. Let me know what you think about Vince McMahon caving in again to the yes movement, man. Let me know what you guys think. I love it. I can't wait to see what happens. More Vince McMahon news, man. This is fucking funny. Actually, it's a slap in the face to the WWE fans. In a corporate financial earnings conference on February 12th, today, as I record this, WWE executives provided stockholders and other partners with their earnings from the fourth quarter of 2014. In this call, they also provided details on the WWE's network and the growth and success of the network, okay? However, in this conference call, WWE CEO Vince McMahon mocks the fans that complained following the 2015 Royal Rumble on January 25th. Upon entering a question and answer portion of the conference call, someone asked Vince McMahon about the controversy behind the Royal Rumble finish, the backlash on Twitter, and the hashtag cancel WWE that was trending worldwide for an hour after the event was over. They also asked if he believed the situation was good or bad for the company. McMahon responded in historic McMahon fashion, saying that it was obviously good for the WWE because it created controversy. And like Eric Bischoff always said, folks, controversy creates cash. McMahon described Roman Reigns winning the 28th annual Royal Rumble match, even though fans online and in the arena did not want him to, as if Santa Claus did not come for Christmas. McMahon then mocked fans who said they were going to cancel the WWE network and never watch the WWE again. I agree with him here, folks. He laughed and said that he knew full well that fans would be glued to the TV the next week. WWE officials, at the rumored request of McMahon himself, which I just reported, have reportedly changed the main event to WrestleMania 31 due to the fan reaction. The new main event will reportedly be a triple threat match between the winner of the 2015 Rumble, Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar. I agree with McMahon. That's hilarious. I don't understand the whole hashtag cancel WWE network. I would never do such a thing. I would never say anything outlandish like that. Oh, we're never watching WWE again. We're done. I'm done with this shit. No, you're not. No, you're not. Those are the people that are going to fucking watch the same fucking show every Monday night following that pay-per-view, man. I would never say anything with such fucking stupidity behind it. I would never say something so outlandish. Of course I would watch. Of course. The WWE, they could fucking put on the worst show ever, man. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm going to watch because I'm a fan. I'm loyal. I'm dedicated to the product, okay? Even though the shows have been fucking dreadful, Royal Rumble was fucking one of the worst ever, if not the worst, I still watch Monday Night Raw because we're all interested to see how WWE, especially in the age of social media, with the fans being so vocal, with the power of the fans being able to change WrestleMania of all fucking events. We have to watch to see what's going on, man. Of course we're going to watch. So McMahon, in typical McMahon fashion, answered that question and answer segment in the conference call. I find that to be very interesting, man. Let me know what you guys think about that one. What else do I got here? News on John Cena. You guys might be wondering why John Cena had looked like a black eye or some kind of eye abrasion on Monday Night Raw in his promo with Rusev. WWE gave an update on John Cena following this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Cena appeared to have an existing issue with his eye before the segment with Rusev on Raw. He has had eye issues in the past and had to pull out of a house show last year when he was poked in the eye in a match. WWE is apparently working Cena's legit injury into the storyline with Rusev. WWE stated on their website John Cena had been competing during last weekend's live events when he sustained a corneal abrasion during his live event matches. This evening, during the attack by Rusev, John Cena's injuries were exacerbated. WWE physician Dr. Chris Amon confirmed to WWE.com, as mentioned on commentary, those injuries were a scratched cornea and a ruptured blood vessel. Amon noted that they would be doing periodic eye exams to make sure the scratch on his cornea is healing, and that he will definitely be at WWE Fastlane. So you guys were wondering, or if you guys were wondering about John Cena's eye, that is the latest on John Cena's injury. It is real, and they're playing up the whole angle into a storyline with Rusev leading into Fastlane for the United States Championship. And finally, guys, to end part one of this big weekend of Off the Script, WWE aired another edition of its flagship program, Monday Night Raw, on February 9th. If you missed the review, link down below. Go and check it out. The show continued to build towards Fastlane and WrestleMania 31, with fans seeing an appearance from WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar. Despite the show featuring Lesnar, in addition to more build to Sting vs. Triple H, there was a significant viewership drop for Raw. According to TV by the Numbers, the February 9th showing of the program averaged 3.658 million viewers, down 15% from last week's mark of 4.292 million. In another bad sign for WWE, viewership steadily decreased throughout the night. Unlike past weeks, no hour would obtain more than 4 million viewers. Below is the hourly viewership breakdown of the February 9th edition of Monday Night Raw. Hour 1 drew 3.8 million. Hour 2, 3.6. Hour 3, 3.5, man. Steady decline from hour to hour. Why? Because Monday Night Raw was fucking boring. It was awful. Nobody cares to see those types of main events, man. The only thing that was worth watching on Monday Night Raw was Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt, the interaction at the end of the show with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman's promo, and that's it, man. And Sting versus Triple H. The whole Triple H segment with Sting accepting the Fastlane offer to meet him face-to-face at the pay-per-view. That was it, man. Other than that, it was 2.5 hours of pure dreadful fucking garbage, as always, on Monday night. Now they want to know why their viewership is dropping. Just take a look at Monday Night Raw and see how bad it was, man. Certainly not NXT. NXT Takeover Rival blew anything away that WWE did with the main roster guys, man, so far. I loved it. If you guys missed my review, go check it out. Link is down below. But that is Off the Script, guys. Number 52, part number 1 to start your weekend off, man. I hope I started your weekends off the right way. What do I got coming up for part 2? Seth Rollins hacked. Seth Rollins hacked and exposed by his, I guess, now ex-fiance. I don't know what's going on, but nudes of Seth Rollins were leaked. Sexting with a WWE diva, and if you guys seen who he was sexting with, you wouldn't blame him whatsoever. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there for you guys, man. You'd probably give him a fucking standing ovation. I'm not condoning anything of the matter, man. I'm just fucking here to report it. But Seth Rollins, that's the big story for part 2, man. I got all the latest information on this fucking huge fucking story about Seth Rollins being hacked and exposed by his, I guess now, like I said, ex-fiance, man. Fucking crazy story. And then in part 3, Money in the Bank coming back to WrestleMania 31, man. Is it true? I got the fucking story for you guys, man. You're not going to want to miss Off the Script this weekend, man. Why? Why don't you want to miss it? It's the number 1 goddamn fucking source for WWE news and rumors and 2K15 content right here on YouTube.com, man. This is JD. I'll see you on Saturday morning for part 2. Until then, take care, and I'll see you guys later.